Hey guys, my name is Danny and welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to help you try and come up with ideas to convince your parents to let you study abroad and become a high school foreign exchange student. So this is the first video that I've done like this face to face to YouTube, like just talking to the camera, so sorry it's a little awkward and unorganized. I'll try and do better for my future videos to come, so I apologize in advance. So, I am going to Australia in January of 2017 for a semester, 6 months. So, it'll be my spring semester, my junior year. And asking my parents was definitely probably the hardest thing I've ever had to convince them and ask them to do. So, it was definitely not an easy task. And they definitely did not just say no, yes right away. I took a lot of convincing. So, I'm going to give you some tips today and ways to ask your parents. So I first became interested in exchange when a Swedish foreign exchange student came to my school when I was a freshman. She was a senior. And she came to my school and joined my cross-country team. And I was just like asking her a bunch of questions. Like I would just ask her about how long she'd been learning English and just everything about her home country. And I don't know, I was just really interested in it. Like, I always knew what a foreign exchange student was. Like, I knew the outlines of it, but I never really understood, like, what it was all about. Like, I knew that they lived with a stranger in a foreign country, but that's really all I knew about it. Like, I didn't understand the benefits or why someone would do it. Honestly, when I heard of it before I met the Swedish student, I was like, whose parents would ever let them do that? And who would want to do that? Like, why would you want to leave for a year, 6 months, or 3 months? Like, what's the point of that? So it's kind of ironic now because now I'm leaving in about 2.5 months to go on my exchange. So it's kind of funny how like your perspective can change. So, I went on a family vacation with my family to Europe, and that was really when I started to become really interested in the topic because I just like traveled around and I got to see all these different cultures and languages, and it was just cool to see how different people around the world live. Like, it really interested me. So I'm like, why not, you know? Like, why not go on exchange? And so I started, like, before I even brought it up to my parents, they had no idea I was thinking this. I did research for like weeks, and I did a lot of research. Like, I literally looked up everything I could, and I became obsessed with doing research. Like, once I started, I could not stop, and I researched for hours at a time. And I really, like, committed myself to learning all this new information. And the more I looked up about it, the more I fell in love with it. And I just, like, I have to do this year. I have to. Like, this is something that I want to do. And so after that, I kind of just brought the idea up to my parents. I didn't really ask them. I just kind of brought it up. Like, I'm like, oh, you know that girl that I met from Sweden? Yeah, like, she's a foreign exchange student. And I just said, would you ever consider letting me do that? And my mom was just kind of like, I guess maybe. Like, you know, I don't really know anything about it. Like, it's, you know. And so I was like, oh, well, I'll just do some research for you. And so initially, I just kind of did some research and was just kind of talking to her about it. And then I decided to make a PowerPoint, which is kind of like basic, like just make a PowerPoint to convince your parents about everything. Sorry, my dogs are playing right there. But, so I made a PowerPoint, and I went to my grandparents' house because Australia was my first choice. I initially always wanted to go there. So I went to my grandparents' house because they had been there before, so I thought maybe they can give me some tips, you know. And I asked them what they thought about it, and they were totally in support of me. They wanted me to go, and they love the idea that I was putting myself out there, and I wanted to do this on my own and grow as a person. So they're totally in support of it. So I went to them first for advice because I just wanted to see someone else's opinion on it. So I asked them. So yeah, and then they helped me. And once I made this PowerPoint, so what I put in my PowerPoint was I basically looked up everything I could about Australia that I could show them. I looked up what type of animals they have, the natural disasters, the weather patterns, like when it was hot and cold, how they have opposite seasons, how far away they were from the United States, their crime rates, just all these different things, like the history, where they come from, what's like the main religion there. So I just looked up as much information as I could to get them to, like, you know, because my parents have never been to Australia, so they don't know anything about it, like, firsthand. So I just kind of, like, introducing this new country to them. And I also looked up their school system and how it worked and how it was different from mine, as they start school in January and end it in November, December-ish. And we start school, the U.S., in August and end it in May. Or at least my school does. I know it's different around our country. So, and I know it's different around Australia's country. So sorry if I kind of messed up the dates or something. So then I presented this to my parents. And I had ways I would fundraise for it. I said I would pay for everything myself, fundraise it. I had ideas. I had videos at the end of other exchange students that went and talking about their experience, just so they could like see ideas of how other people did it and how much it meant to them and how it changed them as a person. Just because they could see, because they've never really like heard of exchange, so it's not like they knew someone that have done it before. I was like introducing this whole idea to them, like this totally new concept of a foreign exchange student. Because really, when you ask your parents to go on exchange, it's just like you're saying, "Can I go live in a foreign country with strangers that I don't know, you don't know, we don't know if they're safe, you don't know if the area's safe." So, that's a really scary thing to ask, and you have to, like, understand where your parents are coming from when you ask them. You have to see that, like, you have to understand what they're thinking of, which is all those circumstances, like, what happened to my daughter gets kidnapped, like, I know it's kind of extreme, but stuff like that can happen. Foreign countries can be scary. So you have to think about stuff like that. So, yeah, I presented the PowerPoint to my parents, and I was really nervous, and I didn't really, I was so nervous to ask them because I didn't want to keep putting it off. Like, I wanted to ask them so I could know, so I could, start working on applications and such. But, I don't know, I was just so nervous because there's always that possibility that they're going to say no. So, if you don't ask, you're not going to get a no. So that's why I was like, I don't know. So, yeah, I finally asked them with that PowerPoint. And, yeah, I also, on the PowerPoint, I looked up all the different exchange companies that I could find. I went to exchangestudent.com, I think it is. I'll put it down in the link so you can see. And it has a list of all the different exchange students that are, like, approved by, like, the government or something like that. Or the ones people go through. And so, I just had, like, a list of all the different exchange students. Because at this point, I didn't know which company I was going with. So, I just put, like, the differences between them and which ones included what and the prices and which included flights and which didn't, which included orientations locally and which included them in a major city. So just things like that I put in there. Just to give them all the information they could possibly need, and any questions they needed to ask me, I would have it on this slideshow. So, yeah, so once I presented to them, they didn't say yes, but they didn't say no. They kind of just said, we'll talk about it and let you know. And so that was, reassuring, I'm like, oh, well, they didn't say no, so I guess that's kind of good. But, so after that, about 2 weeks later, they still hadn't answered me, and I was giving them all kind of hints, if they said something on the news, or, we watched a TV show and it mentioned Australia, I would kind of hit them and be like, hey, look, Australia, please give me an answer. So, just kind of, I hinted them, and I didn't want to keep asking them, because I didn't want to pester them and make them mad and irritated, and them just say no. I really wanted them to think about it and talk about it. So once I asked them, and it was 2 weeks later, I didn't say anything about it really for those 2 weeks. So don't give them time to think, your parents. Don't just keep asking them over and over. Don't hound them yet. I did hound my parents, but not at this stage yet. So after that, my parents finally told me, they're like, we really don't want you to go, so it's going to be a no. They said they thought that I was too young, and they wanted me to wait till college. I only had 4 years of high school, so they wanted me to just be able to experience everything in high school. And they only have me for 18 years, so they don't want me to, they don't want me to leave yet. They think I'm too young. They don't want to miss that time with me, in my childhood life. So, that's basically what they said. And they also said there's no way, we know you want to pay for it, but there's no way you're going to be able to raise that much money or earn that much money in the time needed. Because originally, I asked my parents if I could go my sophomore year, which I presented this idea to them in June of 2015. So it was about 6 months before I was planning on going. And so, yeah, that was probably scary to them because it was so soon. So I wanted to go my sophomore year, because I chose my sophomore year at first because not a lot happens during that. It's more of just you're in high school, you experience everything new freshman year. And there's nothing really new sophomore year. So that's why I was like, oh, I would like to go then, Plus, I'll have plenty of time to make up my classes. So that's why I chose sophomore year at the beginning. And so my parents said no. And and about the money thing, exchange can be very expensive. There's so many varieties of exchange companies, and like the prices vary from each one, which doesn't really make sense to me because most of them include the same exact thing, but the prices vary each one, and like vary between each one. So my parents are kind of right now that I look back on it. I probably wouldn't have made the money in time because I just finished earning the money about a month ago. I finally just reached my goal. And so I was like, yeah, there's no way I could have raised that money in time. I don't know what I would have done. Because, yeah, so now, so once they said no, I was like, wow, this sucks. And I was kind of like, I was so sad and I was so disappointed. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, I need to go. Like, I can't just accept no. Like, if you really want something, you have to work for it. And you won't accept no as an answer. Which is really hard-headed to me, but I am hard-headed, so. And I was like, I need to go. I want to go so bad. I've never wanted to go, like, do something, like, more than this. Even though I'm only 17, so you're probably like, how much could you have wanted to do in these 17 years this big, you know? And it's kind of weird because I've never asked my parents for something this big. Like, it's different saying, can I have a GoPro for Christmas, you know, than saying, can I go to a country for 6 months, a foreign country for 6 months, and go to high school and live with strangers. You know, it's just like one of those once-in-a-lifetime kind of questions. So, what I did after that was, I was like, I can't give up. My parents, though, they were at a dead set no. Like, my mom made it very clear to me that they were not going to change their mind. Their mind was set. There was nothing I could do to convince them, no matter how much I cried and begged. I was not going to convince them. And so, my mom was definitely more against it than my dad. So, then what I did was, I just ordered some books from Amazon, and it was more of, like, books suited for parents. So, it was, like, why your kid should go on exchange in high school, and I had a book about, like, parents' view saying how good it was and how much it would benefit your kid. And so I started reading those and pulling information from them and quotes and stuff, and I put the link for those 2 books in the description below if you want to check those out, because they really helped me a lot. And so, because whenever you, like, your parents hear about it from other, like, kids, you know, like, at least what my mom said, she's like, well, obviously, all these kids you're showing me that went on exchange, they loved it and stuff. Like, they're the ones who went on exchange to a different country and got to travel around and everything. Like, obviously, they loved it, but what about parents? Like, you know, like, my mom would see points of views from parents, like, how it was for their kid to leave and how they, like, dealt with, like, missing them, you know? So, stuff like that. So, it's more from a parent's point of view, because, of course, the kids are all going to say positive things. Cause, yeah, so, oh yeah, one of the other things my mom was like, she's like, you're about to go to college in 2 years, I don't want to lose you yet, you know, I'm already gonna lose you when you go to college, so that's another thing that my mom was, like, saying to me about not going, and, I mean, I understand where they're coming from, like, you have to understand, but it's kind of like, yeah, I only have 4 years of high school ever in my life, and you only get 18 years with me, but it's not just about you, like, you know, like, it's my childhood, too, so, yeah, I only get 4 years in high school, so I want to live them how, like, I want to live them, you know, like, I want to be able to do what I want to do. I'm not saying go, like, run away and sell drugs or something. I'm not saying that. I'm talking about, like, studying abroad. Good stuff. So, I want to be able to make this different from everyone else's high school year. I want to do something that makes me stand out and do something different. I want to be able to look at my high school career and really, like, remember this. So, yeah, it's not all about the parents, you know. But, okay, so after that, then I, like, did a bunch of research from these books, and what I did after that was I basically just wrote a letter. This was probably about, like, a month after I initially asked with the PowerPoint. So, I wrote a letter, and I basically just, like, spilled my heart out and told them all the reasons why I need to go, I have to go, I want to go, I should go, and I just, like, said, like, so many different things. And it's about a page and a half, 2 pages, and I just, like, put quotes in there from this book about how it, like, affects people and, like, kids, because kids are still learning and their brain is still developing, so how good it is for them to be able to experience something outside their comfort zone while they're young like this. So I just put, like, you know, like, scientific kind of stuff. But I basically just spilled my heart to them and told them, you know, just all, yeah, it was pretty good. I thought it was a pretty good letter. It didn't really take me that much because it was more of, like, this probably sounds cheesy, but it's, like, my heart speaking. Like, all the words just came to me because I was so passionate about this, like, about going on exchange. Like, I wanted it so badly. And so, yeah, you know how people say, if you want something badly, don't give up on it. So, then I got the letter, and I put it in an envelope, and I put it on my kitchen table. It was during, like, the summer, so I slept in, so I put it on my kitchen table for them to take when they went to work. one to mom, one to dad. It was the same letter. And so, yeah, I was really nervous of what they're going to say about it when they came home. So they finally came home, and all my mom said at first was, she's just like, that was a really good letter, Danny, like, good job. And I was like, thanks, you know, like, thanks, what does that mean? Is that good? And so then after that, my parents, it was probably like a few days later, and my parents were like, okay, we want to talk to you about your letter. And I was like, yay, okay. That sounds like good news, because at least I didn't just say no right away. Like, that didn't change my mind. And so my parents sat me outside in those chairs right there. And basically just told me, they said, your letter changed our mind and made us realize how much you really do want this. And we will let you go, but you have to make a compromise with us. And I said, okay, what's the catch? You know, there's always a catch. And so they said, we want you to go your sophomore year, you're not your junior year, so you're more mature, and, you know, maybe you won't get as homesick as easily, and just because it's so soon, you know, like, I guess because it was just so soon to, like, spring upon them. So they wanted me to go to my junior year and not my sophomore year. Plus, when you read about, like, exchange students, most of them do go their junior year, not their sophomore year. And they said I can either go to my junior year of high school, or I can take a gap year. Or I can take a gap year after, in between high school and college. So those were, like, my two options. So I was really excited because they were letting me go, so that was, like, the main idea. They did say yes, they didn't say no. But it just kind of sucked. I was kind of down then because I was like, junior year, spring semester of junior year, that's a year and a half away. And I don't know, that just seemed like forever to me. So I'm like, I don't want to wait. I just want to go so bad. But here I am now, like 2.5 months away. So it's crazy how fast time went by. And I am glad that I'm doing it my junior year. So the reason I picked to do it my fall or spring, I could have gone sooner if I did my fall, so I would be there right now. But I decided to do spring because I run cross country in the fall, so that's like a main part of my high school, and it's like some of my best friends last year running because they're seniors this year. So I really just didn't want to miss out on that. Like, that's like my main, you know, like that's what my focus is. And then, so I wanted to do that. So I decided to do my my spring semester. And even though I will miss the prom and ring ceremony, then, you know, because there's always next year for prom. You know, you still have a year left. And then for ring ceremony, I've been to my sister's. It's not that big of a deal. All you go is walk up on the stage and get your ring. You know, congrats, you're seniors. But you're not even really seniors until the next school year actually starts. So I'm not really worried about missing anything. I got my ring, you know. I'm not going to be up there to accept it, but whatever. It's going to be worth it, hopefully, in the end. And so they said that, and I was like, okay, yeah, you know, got to start making my money now and earning it. So I was really excited to be able to finally go, even if it was so far away. So, yeah, so they said that I had to either go my junior year of high school or take a gap year, and I had to raise the money all by myself, because they weren't, like, you know, like, they weren't, like, supporting me, kind of, but they still didn't really want me to go, just because they didn't want to, like, I don't know, like, me go by myself. And so they didn't want to, like, pay for it to, like, help me go. So I had to pay for it all by myself. So, yeah, basically after that, that's the story of how I convinced my parents. So I just want to, like, tell you that if your initial idea doesn't work, which is what I did initially to make a PowerPoint, then don't give up. You know, there's always a way that you can change your parents' mind, hopefully. You know, like, look up the psychology, how to make your parents change your mind, because that's what I did. I looked up everything. I was like, I'm going to make this happen, so. And, yeah, it's all going to be worth it in the end, hopefully. So, and also, if you're thinking about whether or not you want to go because you don't want to miss out on things back in your home country with your friends, then I'm just going to say I would definitely go. Like, I guess I can't really say from experience that because I haven't been, but I will let you know when I go. But I would go, like, 100%. Because, yeah, you might miss going out to eat with your friends, and you might miss going to the zoo, you know. I don't know, just random stuff like that. You might miss football games. But it's not going to compare to the kind of friendships and your new family members and the different culture and experiences that you're living while abroad. Like, that's not something that many people can say that they do in high school. And it's just like a really special experience that I would miss out on a lot just to do that. So, yeah, that's pretty much all. Oh, and one last thing. You also have to be very passionate and committed to, like, if you want to go on exchange, you have to be very passionate and committed, especially if you have to raise your own money. Because a lot of people that like I heard of going on exchange, like their parents pay for it or something like that. But for me, I'm like might be like a lot of you, I have to pay for it with my own money, and so yeah, like you have to be committed, and you have to realize that you might not be able to do as many things with your friends because you're trying to raise money to go. So you might not be able to go out to eat with them on Friday night because you're babysitting or you're working at wherever you work. So you just have to realize that you might miss out on some other things to try and earn the money. So, yeah. Oh, and I also want to say that all this kind of depends on your parents, personally. Like, you know your parents. I don't know your parents. You know how they are. You know whether they're easy to convince or they're really strict or they're chill, like they go with the flow. So this is kind of all on your parents personally. I know a girl that went on exchange. She's on YouTube. I found her on YouTube. And her parents basically planned for her to go on exchange ever since she was born. So since she was born, they had the idea that she was going on exchange. So she didn't have to ask her parents, like she was already going. And I also heard of a few people actually, their parents asked them to go on exchange. They heard about other exchange students and programs, and their parents actually said, hey, do you want to go on exchange? Like, this would be a cool opportunity. So, yeah, I was like, I wish. That was the total opposite of what happened to me. I wish that would happen to me. So, yeah. And also, another good way is if you're deciding, like, what country or something, look up people on YouTube, because it's amazing how many exchange videos there are up there on YouTube. So that definitely helped me a lot in all my knowledge and information. And pay attention to what exchange companies they are with, because you can tell by, like, a lot of the good ones, a lot of the exchange companies, like, how many people are with them, like, the ones that are most popular, so, like that. So I'll make a video later about the different exchange companies and how to choose one, because I've had a lot of experience with that. So, thank you for watching my video, and see you next time.